at a shifting time. We are at a time where there is a wall in front of us. We cannot continue like this. So, and this wall is also the resistance to truth, the resistance to the light, the absence of surrender to the heart, the letting go of the mind and power and power and power, not listening to nature anymore, not listening to the heart. So when it is like this, the whole resistance of people to truth is creating, what I said to you before, if we don't want to see, to bring unconsciousness to consciousness, it's leading us from the back. So this coronavirus somehow is what is the result of all unconsciousness that was not brought into if you don't want to see it, it's going to hit you one way or another. So it's karma. It's karma connected to a lack of consciousness. And if you don't want to see things, they're going to come anyhow because you've been resisting them and you give them a force. So this coronavirus somehow is the expression of this unconscious force. And it's both a blessing and a disease. It's both. It always has anything we resist and we don't want to see, we manifest into our life as something, a problem, in order to face what we don't like, because we cannot face it consciously. So we'll face it in life, we'll manifest it in life, so that we'll learn somehow the hard way. So it's always better to bring through your own self-awareness whatever you're hiding, to consciousness, because you prevent the direct experience of it. If you die consciously, like we've been practicing, you prevent some hardness through the process of dying. You prevent some tough experiences. But if you don't want to see it, it comes into your life as the experience you didn't want to get. It will manifest. So the coronavirus is the expression, in a way, of what people didn't want to face. And it comes as the fear of death, letting go, surrender to the heart and to stillness, and not to power, and not to the search for going. So everybody stopped. And everybody has to face their deepest fears they never wanted to face. And everybody has to face what is the truth for them, how they behave in a space that has, a lot. How can they face themselves also? They were escaping facing themselves. What comes out when you have nothing? What comes out when you become still? What comes out when you're in silence and not into the escape of life, working, playing, joking, moving, but going towards the wall without consciousness? So it is the expression of all the resistance to come to the light and to face what human beings don't want to face. And that's fears, and that's solitude, and that's boredom. They don't want to, and that's being with yourself, and that's being back to what is essential. And no one wants to be back to what is essential, and eventually nature, and giving a breathing to nature also, which was suffocating. And so it's all self-created by the energy, like I said, it's all a game of energy, this plus, this minus, and this zero. When we find the heart and accept any aspects of the mind within, we find the heart, we neutralize it, the 0 point. But if we don't neutralize it, these forces, the greed and the fears, still play in life, and then manifest at one point when consciousness hasn't been, when unconsciousness or mind has not been neutralized, it manifests as forces, and there is a strong force, so it manifested, and that's both. That's also a blessing, to go through something different, to heal the darkest layers of the unconscious mind, to bring them to consciousness. If nothing can bring you to consciousness, everything was there to tell them, awake, stop behaving like this. The earth cannot bear it anymore. It's not bearable for life. It's no longer sustainable for life. So we need to awake, but still we were going through the same pattern. So it's a big stop of that. I hope the lessons will be learned. I hope there will be some kind of crossing of unconsciousness and crossing, awakening into something deeper and something more meaningful, I hope. And if not, let's see. I hope this crossing would be useful. Yeah. Yeah. You can start doing this healing without even knowing the watcher. Just if, but you need someone around them that can still help them. Don't take it seriously. Guide them to say, don't take this seriously. Don't believe this. You don't have to reach anything. Just meet your body sensation. Someone to just give a little bit of guidelines, and then they can go further. But it's a healing practice. It's a healing practice, and yeah. The welcoming space for all of that. They can understand that in addition, that's the fullness, that's the observer and welcoming the totality. And this can be explained in simple ways. And it is, it's very, very effective. The thing is that the mind doesn't want to meet what is negative. The mind is so afraid of meeting this uncomfortable emotion. And that's why it's still leading people. That's why karma is still operating. That's why the plus and the minus, the greed and the fears are still active, because we never want to get in contact with these feelings inside. So we escape from them. But meeting them is just the release, and very, very, very fast release. If you give a total room to it, you've seen, it's very efficient.
Yes.
Very efficient. And in a way, it's to say also that really everything is a blessing, when we look at life like this. Because even difficult things bring good results at the end if we know how to look at them, and it's helpful. Yeah, I'm very happy for you. Yeah, for all this evolution and awakening and understanding, and keep that faith and trust and peace, and very happy.